Hi, it's Representative Rick Larsen, and welcome to this week's weekly recap with Rick. You probably did see the news if you didn't watch it on C-SPAN last Friday night, early Saturday morning, where the House of Representatives finally selected a Speaker of the House so we can get started on the 118th Congress. And to start, we have passed some legislation. One voting highlight we have is we established a select committee on the competition between the U.S. and China. It will improve congressional oversight and congressional policy with regards to U.S.-China relations. The recommendations hopefully will come out and they'll address national security concerns, they'll address economic concerns, and I hope personally that we address any anti-Asian hate that takes place in the United States and make a strong statement as part of this important committee that it does not mean that we should be targeting Americans who are of Asian descent in the United States. We had that problem during COVID. We do not need to see that again, and I hope the Select Committee is very sensitive to that issue. I also joined a resolution to support providers of reproductive health care, including abortions. This resolution condemns attacks on abortion care providers, facilities, and patients, including those in the Planned Parenthood clinics in Everett, Linwood, Marysville, Friday Harbor, Bellingham, and Mount Vernon. I voted no on enabling the wealthy few to avoid paying their fair share. The new Republican majority passed a bill that would strip the IRS of capacity to audit the wealthiest corporations and the richest Americans. That's the wrong approach. They need to pay their fair share, and therefore I voted against that bill. Also this week was my first full week as the ranking member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I've already come to agree with my predecessor, Pete DeFazio, who quoted a friend of his that said, when you're the chair of the Transportation Committee, you never get to sleep. And that was proven this week when the FAA announced there was a national ground stop that took place on Wednesday morning, shutting down flights around the country, and I spent most of my day addressing the issues surrounding that, trying to find out what happened. I spoke with Secretary Buttigieg that day as well about this issue, and he is committed to an after-action review so we can find out exactly what happened and how to avoid it in the future, and what needs to be done in terms of investing in the FAA to increase their capacities, especially on technology. This weekend, I'll be returning to the Pacific Northwest. Looking forward to flying out of DC and getting back home for about 12 days or so. And this weekend, I will be participating in several Martin Luther King Day events. This is a day of service, not a day off. And so I know the local YMCA in my town of Everett will be doing a breakfast. There'll be a march in Everett as well. On Saturday, I'll be in Bellingham working with the Nooksack and Salmon Enhancement Association on some stream restoration along with their volunteers. And of course, Monday is in fact MLK Day, and I hope you'll take the opportunity to find something to do in terms of service for your community as well to honor the memory of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I also want to recognize National Law Enforcement Day from earlier this week and thank the women and men who serve in our local law enforcement for their efforts in keeping our communities safe. And of course, probably the big news this weekend is the Seahawks. We'll be playing the Niners on Saturday at 1:30. And do not call me, do not write, do not email me, do not contact me in any way, shape, or form. I will not be responding while I cheer on the Seahawks on Saturday afternoon. So go Hawks. And that's it. But thanks for tuning in to this week's recap with Rick, and look forward to seeing you next week at home.